Our speaker today knows this better than anyone else, but some of you may have forgotten. He followed Roy Ruby as president of Mississippi State. How'd you like to have that healed? We have a really nice canned introduction of Dr. Keenum. He gets used frequently, full of good stuff. I'm going to tell you, when you go to the magic show or you go to the circus and you have to get behind the curtain, sometimes you don't like what you see. I've been behind the curtain with Dr. Keenum as he does his magic, and I can tell you, same guy in front, same guy in back. Let me tell you what impresses me about Mark Keenum. He is an absolutely relentless recruiter. He recruits students all over the state of Mississippi, all over the South. The hardest job that Lee Weiskopf and I have, we've got 5 students in a room, and all of them need to get their handshake and their encouragement from Dr. Keenum, trying to get him off of one to move to the next, because he doesn't want to shortchange that student. He wants to listen to them. He wants to hear what they have to say. But I'm going to give you one fact that will kind of sum up this 17 years. Today is the day that IHL requires universities to announce their enrollment. I'm not going to walk on his speech today, but I am going to tell you that Mississippi State is 1/3 larger today than it was the day Roy Ruby handed him the keys. 1/3 larger. That means 1/3 more classrooms, 1/3 more faculty members, 1/3 more places to eat, to sleep, to park, to sit at the ball game. And the problems grow exponentially as his success in recruiting grows. Also, I might add, Mayor, with the growth of Mississippi State comes the growth of Starkville and Oktibbeha County. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a Starkville Rotary welcome to the 19th President of Mississippi State University, Mark Keenum.
Thank you, Sid, and I appreciated that introduction as opposed to other introductions. But it is indeed a pleasure and honor for me to come and be here at the best and largest Rotary Club in the whole state of Mississippi. And I commend you all for what you do and what you mean to our community. I also want to say congratulations to Ethan and Chloe, Miss Powell. That's outstanding, and I'm so proud that you recognize these most deserving young students. And Ethan and Chloe, I hope you know you're going to get a really good scholarship. Whatever you want to be in your life, they have a program and agree to get you there. So you got a couple more years, but come see me. Okay? Well, again, great weekend this past weekend, as already been mentioned, about the great victory. Finally, we finally get a chance to get over the hurdle. I told somebody we have won 3 earlier games this year. The only problem, we didn't get any credit for the wins, but we won those games. I'm so glad we finally got credit for the win. We need one more win to make it to a vote. And I mentioned to President Ruby that I would like one of those wins will be when we win the state championship game. I shared that fact with the team back earlier this year. I told them that they had the opportunity to do something that hadn't been done in many decades, and that is we were playing 3, the first time in a long time, 3 in-state teams. If we take care of business and win all those games, we're the state champion. Okay? And so that's our goal, what we're trying to do. Well, this coming weekend is a big weekend. Obviously, you got top 5 team at the University of Georgia, coming off a big victory. And probably not a lot of people give us any hope, but I have hope and belief in our team and what they're doing. They are playing really hard, and we may surprise them. We've got SEC Nation coming to campus. They'll set up there in the Junction. That'll be exciting for all of our students, fans, and it's just a great exposure for the campus, and so I'm excited about that. And then the night before, we have a big event out at Duty Noble. We're having our Diamond Dog Classic, which will be outstanding. We've got over 100 former MSU greats coming to participate in this wonderful classic game. We have Will Clark will be managing one of the teams, Thunder, and Rafael Palmero will be managing Lightning. And these are players that are former Major League big leaguers, and some current big leaguers will be participating. So I hope you'll come out and be with us Friday night. Now, Coach, of course, I know Coach Ron Pope will be there too, and sharing his wisdom with all the players and former players. And what a unique individual Ron Pope is. I know most of you probably know him and have had a chance to be around him a bit. I can't help but share this with you that I was at a golf tournament back just over a year ago. It's called the Alley. Alley Ewing, one of our great MSU golfers, a golf professional, outstanding in her own career. But anyway, it was one of our women's collegiate golf tournaments, and I was standing there near the clubhouse watching our team come through, making the turn from the front nine to the back nine. And I was visiting with Allie, and then up walked Coach Pope. And I noticed he had a very nice golf shirt, and of course he had a cigar in his hand. And he walked up, and we started visiting and talking. But I couldn't help but notice that right in the middle of his shirt, right in his chest area of his shirt, was this round hole, a dark hole, right in the middle of his shirt. And of course I couldn't help it. I just kind of said, "Coach, what's this on your shirt?" He reached down and looked without skipping the beat. He said, "Oh, that's my ash hole." He's a unique character. I remind him of that quite frequently when I see him. Oh my goodness. We have a lot of characters that are affiliated with our university. Well, I was trying to think about what I would share with you. And I know that most of you know about all the things we've got going on. You keep up with things going on. But I'll give you a little insight to some of the challenges that we're facing. Some people might characterize them as headwinds. You know, every university in our country right now is experiencing some form or fashion of a headwind. We're not exempt from that here in Mississippi. And it really started first of the year when we got a directive on how we are to deal with DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And that was something that kind of caught a little bit off surprise, off guard, but we worked through it, we managed it at the federal level, and the guidelines of things we can do, we're not allowed to do. And then, of course, the state of Mississippi passed the DEI bill, and they gave us even more instructions on what we can and can't do. Then we had a federal judge that stepped in and said, now the state law is unconstitutional, and so we're really hung in a limbo of what we can and can't do between the state, you know, who controls our budget, and federal bench. We can't violate a federal injunction, and all this has really caused a lot of just unrest on our campus, and it has affected our student fees, because believe it or not, our fees that students pay for their activities and all the numerous student groups and activities that we have, these student fees were deemed to be state dollars. And we argued they're not state dollars, they're fees that students pay specifically for their activities. But we can't allocate any fees to any student group or organization for this semester. So we'll be going back to the legislature this coming January to try to get some resolution on what we can do to help our students be able to do the activities that they are funding themselves. So again, a bit of a headwind. Another big headwind that we got earlier this year was when an announcement came out, all federal research grants are frozen, suspended. Now, y'all know we're a major research university. We're a top 100. We're the only top 100 research university in the state. Our scientists and researchers this past year generated over $350 million. Most of that federal grants, federal research work that we do. And you name this federal agency, we do work with them. A lot of work. And we do outstanding work. So we were pretty much, I say we're dismayed, shocked, would be an understatement when you get a notice that everything is suspended. We didn't know for how long. Is it going to be for a day, a week, a month, a year, how long, forever? We don't know. But the good news is most of our funding has been restored. We did lose some research grants, and now we're working with the administration on how much they'll let us charge for the overhead, our cost of doing the work for the federal government. And a lot of work is going into that to help us, but it could directly impact our bottom line and our budget for our campus. And then the legislature this year, they worked very hard this year to pass a state income tax elimination bill. There was a lot of back and forth between the House version and the Senate version and the House version. And they couldn't come to a resolution on that. And finally they got a bill passed, and then there were some issues over a decimal point that was in one bill. And there's a lot of hard feelings, is my point, between the two houses. These are Republicans, super majorities in both houses. And yet, there's a lot of hard feelings. And so, when it got time to sit down and talk about, well, our budget for all the state agencies, universities, and for capital projects, normally they have certain member projects where back in communities that members need to take care of something back in their home district. They sit down and they work out and they share these dollars to go out and help the state, communities across the state. This year the Senate said no community projects will be approved this year. We're not going to support any house projects. And then the House said, well, if we're not going to support community projects, we're not going to support any statewide projects. And then they adjourned without passing any kind of budget. First time I've ever seen them go sine die, adjourn, and not pass a budget. The feelings were so difficult across the Capitol. So the governor had to call them back into a special session, and they came together, one-day session, and then they passed the budget. This was a very lean budget because they gave no funding for any projects, capital projects, no funding for repairs and renovations, R&R, and they cut our operating budget for our university, cut our budget. It's the first time I've ever seen anything like that in my life here in Mississippi State. A lot of the things, the growth, we build 4-year plans every 4 years with the legislative leadership, and they've honored our 4-year plan every single year for capital needs, for capital projects. This year was a zero, they say. We have just right here on our campus in Starkville more than 450 buildings. That's just right here. You can add another 200 buildings for all of our facilities across the state. These buildings are owned by the taxpayers of the state of Mississippi. We don't own these buildings. We're the stewards of these buildings. And the legislature usually provides some funding from the taxpayers to maintain and upkeep all these buildings. That's a lot of roofs. That's a lot of HVAC systems. We have over 150 elevators on our campus here at Mississippi State. We got zero funding for R&R. upkeep and maintenance comes directly out of our university budget to uphold and maintain these. First time I've ever seen that, ever. And then they cut our budget, and what's concerning about that, I can understand budget cuts because we've had budget cuts. My goodness, of all my years, we've had a lot of budget cuts. We've had budget cuts when our national economy or our state economy is really down. That's not the case in our national economy. And that's certainly not the case in our state economy. Mississippi's economy is the second fastest growing economy in the nation. We ended our year with $2 billion of unrestricted surplus. And yet they cut our budget and gave us no money for capital or R&R projects. That's a headwind, folks. That's a major headwind. I did not anticipate that at all. Working with our legislative, and we've got great friends and great supporters. Our delegation here, they're strong advocates for us. And it got caught up in a bigger picture, a bigger issue, and we were kind of like a collateral victim, you know, drive-by shooting. We were just standing there, innocent bystander, but we took the hit. And it impacts our campus in such a negative way. The people on our campus who work so hard to serve the whole state of Mississippi, and for us not to be able to support them the way they deserve to be supported is very, very disheartening and very frustrating from where I sit. Well, those are headwinds. I don't like talking about headwinds. I like to talk about tailwinds more. And we have a lot of tailwinds to talk about. Forbes magazine came out and said that Mississippi State University was one of America's best large employers. That's impressive, and we are. Chronicle of Higher Education came out and said Mississippi State was a great college to work for. That's the 10th year in a row we've been recognized as being one of the great colleges to work for. The thing I like about these surveys, these are surveys of our campus. It's not me saying this. It's the people of Mississippi State saying this is a great place. We love the culture at Mississippi State. We want to be part of this community and part of this great university, in spite of all the challenges that we face. Sia touched on it. Enrollment is a big issue for us. We want to grow. And today we'll be announcing, it may have already been released, Sia, our enrollment for this school year, for this fall. November 1st is the official date for us to release our numbers. We've reached another all-time record high in our enrollment. It's 23,563. That's 413 more students than we had this time last year. That's a great growth number for us. We want to see methodical, smooth, methodical growth for our university, and we've grown 10 of the last 11 years. We're the only university that's had that type of growth over that sustained amount of time. We continue to be the #1 choice for a high school graduate in Mississippi who goes to a 4-year university. Mississippi State by far is the #1 choice. We're the #1 choice for a community college student who transfers to a 4-year institution. By far, Mississippi State continues to be the #1 choice. 64% of our students come from the state of Mississippi. And I love that fact. I love that the families that know us the best, that's where they want their son or daughter to be. They have a lot of other options. But they want their son or daughter to come here because of the quality of the education and the opportunity for them to have a great life and a great future. Our graduates command the highest average starting salaries of any graduate of any other college or university in the state of Mississippi. And if you have a Mississippi State degree at mid-career, your mid-career earnings are higher than any graduate of any other university or college in the state of Mississippi. The graduating class of 2024, we do a survey of all of our graduates. Every graduate participates in our survey. We'll soon have the data for the graduates May of 2025, but the most recent graduates of 2024, 95% of them, within the first 6 months of their graduation, had a education success, meaning they had a job or were pursuing a graduate degree of some kind. That's one of the highest percentages in the nation. This last class, 73% of our graduates went to work. And 90% of them took a job that was aligned with the degree that they had earned at Mississippi State. An extremely high percentage of graduates who get a quality degree that aligns with their job and their career. And 54% of our graduates who went to work stayed right here in Mississippi. It makes sense because so many of our graduates come from Mississippi. They want to stay here, and it's our job to create the opportunities for our graduates to stay here and have a great job, great career, and a great life. So 27% of our graduates went on to graduate school, to medical school, to law school. And 72% of them stayed right here in Mississippi to continue their education. You hear a lot about, especially from statewide officials, who talk about quality of degrees. Are these degrees really helping people get a job? Are they meeting the needs of the workforce in our state? We are excelling in doing that. From engineering and our business programs, our agricultural sciences programs, our College of Education, architecture, art, and design, our construction science program that has a 100% job placement. We are meeting the needs of the state. Our renowned forestry college and wildlife programs, career path jobs, what we focus on. And when you have the majority of our graduates staying in the state, the majority of our graduates continuing their postgraduate education, we are meeting the needs of the workforce, and we're addressing the issue of brain drain in the state. Don't let anyone tell you. They may talk about IHL or other universities. They're not talking about Mississippi State University. They're not. We are excelling in these areas. Again, research is what we're about. Doing cutting-edge science and research. A lot of challenges, as I mentioned, but some good news. I'll be cutting another ribbon on another building, our new supercomputing center out in the Thad Cochran Research Park, right across the street from the current Mac Patera High Performance Supercomputing Center. We're ranked number 4 in the nation. Think about this. Think about all the number of universities and colleges in the country. And we're currently number 4 in supercomputing capacity right now. And I'm about to cut a ribbon on another brand new supercomputing center. And we just signed contracts with NOAA, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and they're going to provide for us one of the fastest supercomputers in the country in our new supercomputing center. And we signed another contract with USDA, and we're going to get our second USDA supercomputer that will also be housed. Over $20 million in brand new, super fast, high capacity supercomputers that will make us even more powerful when it comes to supercomputing. Very few people realize that about your university and what we're doing and the work that we do for the USDA, for example. It supports all of USDA's agricultural research programs nationwide, right here in Starkville, Mississippi. And most of the national and global weather modeling that NOAA uses is generated right out here in the Thad Cochran Research Center. We're a powerhouse. We're also focused, again, on the future workforce, where we're headed as a nation, and what are the companies and businesses, manufacturers needing for their employees. Of course, they want to know about how to manage all this massive data that's out there. Good business management decisions. Well, we have one of the few data science degrees in the country right here at Mississippi State, and we have the only artificial intelligence degree degree in the state of Mississippi and in most of the Southeastern Conference. Not only can you get a bachelor's degree in artificial intelligence, you can get a master's degree in AI. We've been doing this for a long time. We're a leader in this field. And we're working with industries and manufacturers to help them understand this technology. We get requests all the time. My employees, they need to understand AI. Okay, we're a land grant. We hear you. We're here to serve you. And our Center for Advanced Vehicular Systems down in Canton, Mississippi, which is an industrial engineering facility that works with companies and manufacturers. We've been working with them for years and helping companies be more efficient in their operations. We're now providing outreach and training for employees in industries and companies for artificial intelligence. That's our mission, folks. We're here to serve the state of Mississippi. Cybersecurity. We have one of the most premier cybersecurity programs in the nation. It's located right here in Mississippi State. And we're building, as I speak, in August, Governor Reeves and I were down on the Gulf Coast in Biloxi. We broke ground on our new state-of-the-art Cyber and Technology Center. It's a 100,000+ square foot facility that will be the headquarters for the whole state of Mississippi in cybersecurity training for all state agencies, companies, and again, manufacturers and industries will send their IT people to us to train so they can have cutting-edge technology for defenses in their businesses and industries. And of course, we're building it right at the gate of Keesler Air Force Base. With me at the groundbreaking was the commander of the base and the commanding general of the training region for the south part of our nation. Because we're going to do the training for the airmen and women for the defense of the United States Air Force. Mississippi State University. We're already writing the curriculum that's being used for all the cyber training for the Air Force. Think about that. Mississippi State University. I'm just so proud of what we do. And then, of course, our campus in Meridian and the great things that we're doing there in health professions. Again, meeting a critical need in healthcare for our state. We've got a tremendous physician assistant program there. Our graduates in the PA program, we're the only state university with a PA program. They have 100% pass rate for their board exams. 100% pass rate. We graduated our very first class of nursing graduates this past August. I'm so proud to be able to say that we have a nursing program, a master's of nursing degree that we offer there in Meridian. We will soon be offering a doctor of physical therapy program there on our campus in Meridian. We already have healthcare administration. We have 5 graduate programs in clinical mental health, and you can earn your doctorate of psychology degree there in Meridian. We are working to address critical healthcare needs in our state. And of course, right here in our own community, when you look around, and the mayor and I were in the Crossroads District on University Drive and breaking ground on our new Hotel Madeline. Beautiful. It'll be a 5-story hotel, Marriott tribute style, with a rooftop lounge that will oversee our campus, with a wonderful restaurant. It will be a destination facility for people who are coming through Starkville. They're going to go and they're going to want to stay at the Hotel Madeline. We want families who are coming here to visit our campus. It is going to be spectacular. And then all the other growth that we're envisioning there in the Crossroads area. We're planning now building a new standalone Ulysses S. Grant Presidential Library that will be adjacent to the MSU Mill, right there in the Crossroads District. And then you look at what all the mayor's doing downtown on Main Street. You may not like it, but I promise you, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be spectacular. Highway 182, all the beautification of our city with the crossroads and Cotton District and the Crossroads District. That's what a growing, thriving community is about. I was pleased to be with the executives from Baptist Health Systems as we were with them and the leadership of our county board of supervisors and the mayor as we welcomed Baptist Health System to Starkville, Mississippi, to run our hospital and allied healthcare facilities. I was pleased to be with Dr. Tony McGee just a few weeks ago as we were entering a formal partnership to enhance our relationship with the Starkville-Ottawa School District. Just like the wonderful partnership school we already have on our campus, which is wonderful. Did y'all go to the partnership school, Ethan and Chloe? Wasn't that a great school? I love that school. That's a school for our young people here in the community, but it's a school for Mississippi State University students. We have our classrooms in there for our College of Education students to be in their own classroom, but they can also go and sit in and watch and observe actual classes being taught in a school. Wonderful. There's no other university in the nation that has a facility and a relationship like we have. And now we're taking it to the next level of looking to build a high school, modeling it after our partnership school. So when you've got great health care, you've got great education, A-rated school system, okay? All the growth and development in our community and all the amenities, and I commend you, because I was with you out at McKee Park, where your Rotary Pavilion, which is beautiful, by the way, enhancing our community for families who want to come and make Starkville their home to attract more and more people. Starkville has great days ahead of it, and I'm just thrilled that I'm part of it, and I live here. This is my hometown, and I'm thrilled to see all the great success that is happening here and what Mississippi State is doing to contribute to that. So y'all, thank you for letting me come and share a little words with you and give you a little bit of an update and some headwinds, but the tailwinds, they're a lot stronger than the headwinds, I can tell you that. Thank you. May God bless you. Hail State. Thank you.
Facilities and the abilities that located in that area with the new buildings and computers and everything going on. I'm wondering if what I hear, other news and national whatever, that there's a lot of power requirements for AI. Are we envisioning a facility that's going to generate more power here? And would it be maybe a clean nuclear type facility, small? Not the big generating monsters they have in Alabama, but I'm talking about the new, clean nuclears that will supply all the power.
The question is, if we're looking to bring a nuclear generating facility maybe in this area, that's going to be a decision for our electric power suppliers. And we get our power from TVA. I will tell you that I am affiliated with the Mississippi Power Company down on the coast, and they serve us all the way up to Meridian, the Gulf Coast. Meridian is in the service territory, and you may have read in the news where there's a major hyperscaler data center that's right now being built right there in Meridian. It's a $10+ billion investment. Compass is the name of the company, and it's served by Mississippi Power Company, and they have the capacity to meet the needs. They're also in the discussions with another hyperscaler that are looking to build another big a data center twice as large as the one in Meridian, just south of Meridian, and it will demand even more power. I can tell you that Mississippi Power can meet that need. Once those two come online, they can't meet the needs anymore. So they're going to have to look for some additional power. They're already in the early stages of talking about the next generation plan. And they're looking at doing it through natural gas. Natural gas is probably where you're going to see more development for energy to meet this tremendous appetite of these data centers for energy and power. TVA just announced that they're building a natural gas power plant over, I guess it's eastern Lowndes County, because they know they've got a big demand in power in their service territory. But the future's probably going to be what you just described. It's going to be nuclear, and probably these smaller versions of nuclear power plants is what our future. But we're not there yet. We're probably a decade or more away before you see those type of energy power plants starting to, for someone to do that. But that is going to be where we need, because the malicious need for energy. I tell you, to give you an example, the brand new building that we've built, our new computing center. Let me back up. The Terra, our current supercomputing center, that one building out in the research park, it consumes more electricity than the entire campus does. Okay, one building. We've just built another one right across the street. And when we went to TVA and told them we're building and what our needs were going to be for electricity, they said, we can't supply you the energy for that one building. So we had to work with them, and we built out on the North Farm a substation. We built it just so we could have the energy to run one building on our campus. Okay, that's how much electricity these massive supercomputers consume. Not to mention these big data centers, massive amounts of energy. And by the way, we have to pay for all that energy. Okay, the electricity. Part of our operating costs that we have to deal with. But that's okay, because we're getting tremendous output and need to support our massive research enterprise and support our state. These supercomputers, they don't just serve our research needs, we work with industries. We do simulation models for companies that are making decisions, and they need massive amounts of data analyzed. We can do it just like that. That's part of our commitment to economic development and growth and supporting our state and our future through our capacity of our city.
I'm really glad to hear you so on top of it.
Oh, well.
That's the next big hiccup in people's lives, is power. Wow.
Thank you, Dr. Keenum. Let's give him. We'll give you a few minutes after. I know we've got some other questions. Thank you for your presentation. A donation will be made in your honor to MSU's Boys Pantry. I always say, regardless of how we're doing in athletics, I will put our president up against anybody in the nation. So we always win. Don't forget about the shoe boxes. If you can do that today, we've got the envelopes there. Next week, our speaker, Lara Taylor, project manager for MSU Co-work and Idea Shop. So we look forward to seeing everybody back here next week. Anything else for today? If not, let's rise and state our motto.